Looks like one of our development parts didn't fare too well in testing. I've put it on hold for now. You can restart work from the laptop. We're going to have to go back now and make some adjustments in order to get the final numbers looking more like we were expecting from the simulation.
Hello, this is Joe83 and this is another episode of Salvaging Sauber Career Mode, and we're at the Malaysian Grand Prix this time. You just heard Chris telling us that one of our parts has failed, but we did get a rear wing upgrade, so the car should have been improved quite a bit from the last race in Singapore, and we're in Malaysia this time because it's a bit overcast for practice, but the practice program should be pretty straightforward. The game's obviously quite a fair bit into its life cycle now, and it's pretty easy to get the maximum scores on most of the tests. As you can see, track acclimatization is a doddle, really, pretty much all purple, and then the next one is the fuel test, and it just upshift really early, and you pass this basically, but coming around, we're not actually in the purple, but then I just short shift massively, come up to the line, can we just make it into the purple score, and it's on the edge. Is it going to count as purple? I think it should do. Yes, it does, just about, by short shifting massively there. And yeah, that was you can see my engine wear is pretty bad, which could be something to keep an eye on during the race. I probably will upgrade the MG UK before the race, but race strategy test actually goes pretty well as well. Easy purple score there. And then into qualifying, then Q1. This is my first run in Q1, and let's go around the final few corners. You can see Raikkonen currently on pole with a 33.3. And come around, I do feel pretty good at this track. I don't know, I've not driven it in a league yet, so I've never actually practiced too hard for it, but I've always kind of liked it a bit. It was one of the time trial tracks for AOR, so I've driven it quite a lot for that. Look around the final corner now of this major track, the hairpin at the end of the long grandstand, and it's going to be coming up to the line now. So then Raikkonen obviously, but it's a 35.3, so 2 seconds of Raikkonen, actually puts us fourth at the minute. At the end of the session, I decided not to do another run because we're actually in 14th, so we're into Q2. I've only done that a handful of times this season. We're coming in Q2 now. You can see Q2 has ended. This is my last, my second run. I'm currently in 9th, so I don't know how, but this Sauber's got some pace out of somewhere, and we're improving on our 9th place. And it's going to be up to 8th in Q2, so we're into Q3. I think for the first time this season. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the first time I've been in Q3 in this Sauber, which is unbelievable. This is still the slowest car. And maybe the AI just poor at this track. This is my only run in Q3 because I only have one set of tyres left. Coming up towards the line where it's going to put me, and it is into 7th place ahead of Perez. That is currently best of the rest. And by the end of qualifying, Perez actually did just about overtake me, but I was very close to best of the rest there, and that was ridiculous. So very, very good qualifying, the most pace of everyone I've had all season, and that is very nice to see. And coming up to the race start, it's going to be a dry race. Let's have a quick look at the grid. It is Vettel on pole with Bottas in second. I'll leave Crossley to take around the rest of the grid.
Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Raikkonen, Sergio Perez, and the Sauber, Hulkenberg, Hamilton, Ocon, and Jolyon Palmer, Fiat, Grosjean, Carlos Sainz, and Magnussen, Massa, Ricciardo, Lance Stroll, and Stoffel Van Dorn, Wehrlein, and Fernando Alonso starts from the back of the grid.
So as you saw, we're actually into the top 6 as Hamilton and Ricciardo have penalties. But you can see it's going to be a bit wet halfway through the race. We're starting on Supersofts obviously as we're in Q3, but it's coming out time for 5 red lights for the Malaysian Grand Prix. They're on now, and it's lights out and away we go from 6th place. It looks like a decent start. Raikkonen's bogged down. Perez has got a good start as well. I've got quite a lot of wheel spin though. Hulkenberg is on my right hand side. He's going to go for it down the inside, it looks like. Hamilton on my left. It's weird being with all these big names in Formula 1, and Hulkenberg goes diving up the inside into the turn 1 ahead of Raikkonen. He's also alongside Perez now. I've gone alongside Raikkonen. We're going to squeeze him to the inside. Can we go on the outside turn 2? It's going to be very close stuff with the Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen, who is obviously a much faster car than this Sauber, but we're punching him off our weight massively. And now Hamilton is just behind me. He got demoted because of that gearbox penalty, I think, and he's down to 8th place now. It comes up to the next corner. I go around the outside of Raikkonen. Is that going to work? Right around the outside. That'd be a lovely move, but no, Raikkonen's got a much better exit with the traction of that from that Ferrari, and he's going ahead into the next few corners. And through his middle sector, the AI with their much better chassis and downforce will probably pull away from me quite a lot in the poor Sauber. And coming on to lap 2 now, we're still in 7th. We've managed to retain the position for Hamilton. Raikkonen's actually got ahead of Hulkenberg now as well, and Hamilton's right behind me, starting on softs because he did his Q2 time on softs, interestingly. Hamilton's going to pull to the inside line now and down towards the hairpin, the final corner, and switch on to the external camera. He's going to the inside now. I'm going to switch it to the outside. Can we get a break a lot later? Then go right around the outside loads. Hamilton is very close stuff with the current championship protagonist, but we've just about held it now, and now on to lap 3, quite a half a lap later. Hulkenberg is still just ahead of you. You can see the gap to the top 5 is ridiculous now. Perez is still up there, so he's doing very well at the minute. But once again, the external cameras, Hamilton's gone right around the outside. He's getting close stuff. And we're trying to force him over the curb, but he's managed to hold it. And that is a lovely move by Lewis Hamilton right around the outside. And he's just about... I'm going to try back up the inside there. Can we try and push Hamilton off? No, we don't. He's managed to hold it on the outside in his Mercedes. And now Julian Palmer, of all people, is trying to take me, which I don't want to see. As we know, he's not in F1 anymore for good reasons, and he's absolutely awful, and hopefully I can hold the position for him. But he has got the Renault straight line speed and compared to this Ferrari 2016 engine, so he's going to go up the inside of the hairpin. I'm holding it right on the outside though. Can we manage to hold that? No, he just about gets the advantage. But he's got DRS, we're going to duck back into the slipstream though. We've got rich mix to use, and he probably won't, because I don't think the AI use rich mix very often. But we're close enough for a dive into turn 1. Yes, we do dive up the inside of Julian Palmer. Force him quite wide there. A little bit aggressive, but it's Palmer, so I really don't care. And now going around turn 2, we've managed to hold that position up into 8th place still. So we're still in the points, but you can just see the amount of training that I'm doing behind me. There's like, from here down to about 15th is a massive train. And Kvyat now is just playing Palmer as well. Kvyat's actually overtaken Palmer onto the end of lap 5, and Hamilton sets fastest lap. You can just see how much we're holding him up there, as he's overtaken Hulkenberg already, and Bottas in the pit, so go with a 6th it looks like. And Kvyat though has got a lot of straight line speed, and he's going to go up the inside into turn 1. We try and push him to the inside, switch back like we did to Hamilton, go to the outside line, break a lot later than him, but he's just banged me off the road there. What is Kvyat doing? The torpedo himself, and he has just ruined my my momentum there. He's completely slanted the side of me. I'll give it back. Give it back through turn 2. We're still side by side now with the Russian Danny Kvyat, who's currently looking to get that Williams seat, but I don't know if he will get that. But now into turn 4, we're going to dive up the inside of Kvyat, trying to take advantage of and get ahead of him back again, but we get a bit of oversteer through the apex of the corner, and Kvyat just about holds it up into 6th place. So a few cars pitted. I think Bottas and one of the Ferraris pitted ahead of me. So this is a net 9th place now, I think, because Kvyat was in 9th, as we know. And now a few laps later, a few more cars are pitted, and we're in 3rd place now on the podium. But obviously it's not a net position because a lot of top runners have pitted. But now Palmer's going to try and take me down to turn the lap behind the corner again. And I'm going to pit this lap actually, so peel off. Palmer can't overtake me because I'm actually pitting. And we're going to drop down to quite a few positions, but I don't know quite where. But the super softs managed to drag them quite far. We're going to go to medium tyres, hopefully stretch the mediums to the rain period, if it gets wet enough for the inters, which it might do. I don't know. One cloud in this game doesn't often show you much, but Raikkonen's already gone ahead, so it's Perez. And Hamilton there on the mini map, you can see, and on the top left, Verline now starting on soft tyres, obviously very near the back. I think he started 19th. Is now ahead of me. There's Hulkenberg and Ocon. I'm going to be stone dead last on the medium tyres, so you can just see back to the norm. We're into last place, but obviously a lot of the cars are going to be do have to pit, which is going to boost me up a few positions hopefully. But now onto lap 9, the end of my lap, my outlap in Grosjean. Oh, it's 2 laps later actually. Grosjean just behind me, and quite a lot of cars are in the pits now. So can we see where we're going to be? There's Magnussen coming out of the pits actually. So Magnussen's managed to overcut us unfortunately. There's a Ferrari outside though. I think this Vettel has gone off, and Vettel is probably out this race now. We've managed to defend from Grosjean in the meantime. There's quite a lot going on, and Magnussen has just about got ahead of me though, and I think that is everyone made their first stop, so I'm actually not in the points, apart from Pascal Wehrlein, my teammate, who is just ahead of me on his very old soft tyres now. We're catching him quite quickly, so hopefully a few team orders will make him move over for me. Although I'll probably get past him pretty quickly anyway. But now Palmer is right behind me again, still just behind me, Julian Palmer. He's going to go to the inside, looks like, for the hairpin. I can brake later than him though, and just to hold that position, Wehrlein actually does peel off into the pits, boosts us back into the points. Magnussen has come out of nowhere, like I don't remember battling him at all before the stops, and now he's into 9th rather, so Magnussen's done pretty well. And Palmer is right alongside me. Can we defend from him? It's turn 1. And Grosjean's also going to try to switch to the inside. Looks like I'm defending from Palmer in the inside, and Romain Grosjean is there as well. The Frenchman, we're just trying to defend for him. Grosjean's actually spun because I had no room. Palmer was squeezing me. He collected Williams there as well. That's unfortunate. And there is wing damage to I think that's Vettel, and I think that was Sainz as well. As Kvyat was further up the road, but unfortunate there. But I really had nowhere to go. Palmer was squeezing me, and I had Grosjean on the inside as well. Nothing to do on my part really, but now Palmer is right behind me again. We're still in 8th place, 10th place, sorry. If I can actually read numbers, that'd be helpful. Now Ocon's in the pit, so we're going to go up into 9th, and now Palmer down the outside. We're close enough for a dive again, and it seems to just be constantly battling with Julian Palmer. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, but no damage done, and we're forcing him around to the outside and squeezing it on the apex and take that position back into 9th place. Verstappen actually ahead of me, so I don't know what quite he's doing out there, but you can see on lap 19, quite a lot of laps later, we're up into 7th, and Hulkenberg is right behind me now, Palmer's teammate, who's obviously overtaken Palmer because he's a much better driver, and Hulkenberg is now right behind me. DRS is still enabled, even though it is getting a little bit wet, and Hulkenberg is going to go to the outside. He has pitted for another set of softs, so you can just see the true race pace is quite a lot slower than my qualifying pace, unfortunately, as Hulkenberg has managed to do an extra stop and still catch, and is probably about to pass me, although he's actually backed off a lot there. He got a bad exit out of the hairpin, but now on the very same lap 20, and Hulkenberg is right behind me again through down this little straight, and I've got quite a lot of curb there. It's giving me quite a bad exit, and Hulkenberg is going to go to the outside as Hamilton did in the lap 1. Can Hulkenberg do the same move? And I'm going to try to defend him and force him to the outside of the track, but he's just got the better traction there and decent straight on speed, but he has gone straight up the inside, and unfortunately I can't do a switchback move because he has a lot more downforce through that corner. I don't really like the corner at all, and it's a bit annoying. I'd never really be able to master it at all. And now Ocon is right behind me with his Force India bullet in a straight line, and he's probably going to do the same thing to me that Hulkenberg just did, to be honest, as I'm not that confident, and the Force India obviously has the Mercedes engine, and you can see boxing this lap, I'm going to risk it, go on to the intermediates, because these mediums aren't really giving me much to defend with at the minute. Ocon gets up the inside, but I'm going to peel off into the pits anyway, so he does gain a position, but not by overtaking me. So into the pits we go, and coming down towards the pit lane. It's a bit of a weird pit lane with the peel off in the last corner, but we're just about slowing it down for the line and into the pits for intermediate. So it's a bit of a gamble as DRS isn't disabled yet, and that's normally the key thing to show you when you're meant to change over, but I'm going for it anyway. You might as well try something. I'm just dropping down the order at a minute, so soon enough we would have been out the points anyway, so we might as well try something different, go on to intermediates, and Vettel has only just gone out past me actually. Here's Palmer coming down straight, so he's obviously pitted and come out, and he's just about got ahead of me because of the undercut, and my poor pace really. We're battling Hulkenberg and Ocon as well, so lap 21, we've got a few laps to the end. Hopefully it starts raining a lot heavier now. It's been a bit of a gamble, but you can see through turn 1 and 2 we're sliding about a lot. I don't know if it's going to pay off, but now onto the same lap 21, Ricciardo has actually caught me, which is a bit annoying because it sort of shows that the inters maybe aren't completely right for these conditions yet, but we can still hope it gets a lot wetter. But now Ricciardo is also in a very fast car in the Red Bull. I don't quite know what he's doing down here in 12th. But he goes right around the outside, very nice move. I try and force him off, but I just don't have the grip or the downforce. But now you can see drifting through the next section, and Massa is still behind me onto lap 22, just like half a lap later. And you can see the gap Ricciardo's pulled is like 4 or 5 seconds already, so looks like this might not have paid off that well. You can see how much I'm struggling to put the power down out of turn 2, and Massa's going to go to the inside now in his Williams car. And he's going to go past me, it looks like, into turn 4, unless I can brake a lot later. Then he's on soft tyres, I'm on the intermediates. So try and hold it around the outside, and Massa is just about on the inside there. We've actually defended reasonably well there, so maybe it is getting wet enough, as Massa didn't really have the traction there. But he's at light contact there, very close to spinning, but we luckily don't, and Massa just about goes around the outside, a bit unfortunate. But now Verline, my teammate, is just behind me. I'm going to let him through, as he's I think these tyres are not very good at the minute, and it's pretty annoying. I'll just let Verline overtake me and maybe just put pressure on Massa. If Massa got damage from that contact, I don't really know. So we put into the inside breaker very early, let Verline through, and that is a nice gesture from me there. Hopefully the team take it into account. But on the next lap now, lap 23, and there's a yellow flag, I'm not quite sure what that's for, but Verline, as you can see, is pulling off to the side, so that was really worth my time. I let him through, then half a lap later he retires, so apparently there's no such thing in karma in the world, as I give him a good deed and then he gets a bad result for it. But now on lap 26, DRS has now been disabled, luckily, and Felipe Massa is going very slowly ahead of me. Can we pressure him now? But you can just see in the mini-map you can't see Ricciardo anywhere. I think Ricciardo is just bolted and gone, but you can see I've got much better tyres for these conditions now, but it's not really been worth it. I've been in these tyres like 6 laps now, and I've only just caught Massa again, so yeah, maybe it was a bit of the wrong move, but I went for it. What can you do? I've got at the inside of Massa though, and we're up to 13th again. We're a little bit oversteer on exit, and we just about hold it. Don't go on the grass because that would be catastrophic. And now onto lap 28, the last lap of the Grand Prix, DRS has now been enabled again. So Massa's trying to pressure me, and he's got the inside actually. My inters, because I was on them so early, they've actually worn out because it wasn't wet enough for a while, so they overheated. And now we've got massive oversteer onto the artificial grass. Alonso's gone past me as well. We're just losing his hand over fist now. And yeah, Alonso and Massa gone past me straight away on that 28. It was really the wrong move to go into inters, and it was pretty annoying. I did choose to do that, to be honest, but this front left sorry, is getting quite close to puncture territory, which would be pretty detrimental, as 14th still in any normal race isn't that bad for a Sauber, and obviously Verline's already retired, so any good result here will kind of put me in better light because Verline's not in the race at all. But Stroll now right behind me. You can just see how much time in that short amount of corners that we've just lost to Alonso, as the Sauber is pretty similar to the McLaren at this point in the season. But now Bottas has already won the race, is now lapping us anyway, which is a little bit rude. But as Stroll is right behind me in the Williams car, and he's going to try and go on the outside into the hairpin, and Bottas has already won. As we can see, he's celebrating his victory lap, but he doesn't go to pits, which is a bit of a weird feature. But we made contact with Stroll, and then he's gone around me outside. Then on the exit, I put the power down. Sainz has hit me actually, so lost the front wing. This has just descended into absolute anarchy, and it's not gone very well at all. But we're still caught up to the line. Sainz overtook me as well. No, we didn't. I don't know. Something happened, and we crossed the line in 15th place, not 14th. That was being overly generous there. So unfortunate. Points were available. Perez on the podium. Love to see a bit of pink up there in that Force India car, and the Mercedes got a 1-2. Hamilton recovered well from his gearbox penalty. I think the Ferraris both had issues, and Bottas wins again. And I think there's about 4 races in total that haven't been won by a Finnish driver. Bottas and Raikkonen have just gone absolutely mental, to be honest. But unfortunately, no points for me today. We got points. We got a few points in Singapore, so 1 race with points, 1 race without. It's not too bad. But Perez doing an absolute mad one on the podium there. His first podium of the season, I believe. And you can see Hulkenberg up in 4th as well, Ocon 5th. So yeah, they've really capitalised there, the Force India and the Renault cars. And Palmer actually scored a point, so it's all kicking off. And you can see down in 15th for me, and that's a bit unfortunate, but as I said, what can you do? It's no points, but that's what you expect in the Sauber. But that is pretty unfortunate onto the standings, and it is going to be Bottas has taken the lead of the driver's standings. He dropped back behind Kvyat there, and Hulkenberg actually overtook Massa as well with that 4th place. But Bottas is 4 points ahead of Raikkonen, so it's very close for the championship between the 2 Finnish drivers. And in the constructors, we're still in 9th, quite a long way off Haas, but McLaren still have no points somehow. So that's pretty good for Sauber. But that's going to be the end of this video. If you did like it, leave a like on it, subscribe if you want to see more. I'll try and bring out career mode a bit more regularly than I have done over the past few months, and I hope you enjoyed. And this has been J83, and I will see you next time.